This page features a cover of Saturn Fan Magazine issue number 13, dated July 10, 1998. The cover promotes several games for the Sega Saturn, including Luna 2, Eternal Blue, Black Matrix, Radiant Silvergun, Slayer's Royal 2, Bagwiner Awaking Woods, and Deep Fear. The magazine also previews the Dreamcast console, with NEC Home Electronics joining the Dreamcast project. Two games featured prominently are the RPG 7th Cross and the action RPG Sengoku Turb. The next page presents advertisements for two Sega Saturn games. On the left, there is an ad for World Cup 98 Road to Win, an action sports game where you can compete in the France World Cup, even starting from the Asian qualifiers against Iran. On the right, we see an ad for Become the Coach for the National Team, the world's first soccer RPG, where you can scout players and lead your team to victory. This page focuses on the Sega Saturn game Cross Tante Monogatari, or Cross Detective Story. The page highlights the game's unique feature of having 7 adventure games in one, running on a Mach-Seek engine with 32,000 colors. Key people behind the game are also spotlighted, including game planner/supervisor Yutaka Kanaga, character designer Ippei Tamaki, and voice actors, alongside the music of Pizzicato 5. There's also a contest where players who solve the game's puzzles can win prizes, such as an Italian vacation, a DVD player, and an MD player. In terms of contents, it covers new releases, including D and Dreamcast release information. Also, it contains strategy guides and previews for other Sega Saturn games, such as Langrisser V, Super Robot Taisen Frei, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and Deep Fear. Additional articles include ones on Japanese baseball, Pocket Fighter, Magic School, and the column Saturn Dream. There's also a Ranking Street, Readers Plaza, and Game Lab. The next page is an announcement of new titles from Data East. It announces sequels for Tukoku, Jinguji, and Mahidoro, along with mystery titles. The page covers Data East's new title announcement at the Shinjuku Kabukicho Toho Hall. The event highlighted the finale of the Detective Jinguji Saburo 10th Anniversary campaign and a Mini Cooper public lottery with 55,000 applicants. There was also a live performance by Data East's band Gamerdelic, featuring Mahidoro and Jinguji medleys. Cosplayers appeared during the show. The new titles announced included Magical Drop Family, Detective Jinguji Saburo 7, Tukoku 2, plus 2 mystery titles. Staff comments and promotional videos accompanied each title. Additionally, the page features character designs for Tukoku 2, temporary title, with illustrations of 3 characters by designer Umetsu Yukinori, including comments. They mention character design changes, with Umetsu Yukinori taking over from Mamoru Yokota. The designs feature a long-haired, lively high school or college student, and a mature woman. This page continues from the previous page, featuring an interview with the development team of Tukoku 2, tentative title. The developers at Data East, including the planning groups Koichi Takahashi and the graphics groups Yoshihiro Yamamoto, discussed their ambitions for the game. They aim to create a compelling game, not just a typical dating sim. And they want to incorporate elements of suspense and fear, though. The team also discusses improving the trap mechanics and level design from the previous game. The staff confirm that the character designs are being handled by Yukinori Umetsu and are being changed from the previous designs. They discuss the possibility of the game being rated 18+, depending on its content and the platform. The interview also covers the potential for high-resolution graphics and the importance of creating a beautiful visual experience. This page has a few different articles on it. The first is an interview with staff involved in the latest Detective Jinguji Saburo game, tentatively titled Detective Jinguji Saburo 7. They discuss plans to make the series even more appealing for its 10th anniversary, with discussion on platforms, keeping aspects of the series that are familiar, and improving new parts. The next article is focused on the Magical Drop series. The developers aim for a simple and easy-to-understand puzzle game. The interview covers planned hardware, characters, and gameplay. They're keen to improve on the game's charm and also look at some new gameplay elements. There are also some brief character introductions with artwork of the characters. Lastly, the developers confirm that they are currently working on another game, and that they may also be selling merchandise. The next page is dedicated to the Sega Saturn CD game Lunar 2: Eternal Blue. It focuses on the game's early story, characters, and combat system. The article emphasizes the journey of Hiro as he tries to rescue Lucia and the people he meets along the way. The page shows several screenshots of key locations and encounters, including Hiro's house, Dalton, the town of Lamapa, and the Lanza Woods. The article highlights the storyline of how Lucia, with her powers sealed by Zofar, is pursued by Leo, and how Hiro must find a way to save her. The article mentions the encounter with Ronfar in Lapa, and the introduction of Jean in the Lanza Woods. This page dives deeper into the combat system of Lunar 2: Eternal Blue, explaining key elements and strategies. It emphasizes the importance of character positioning and movement during battles, highlighting the unique aspects of the game's tactical combat. The article explains the dash system for quick movement and discusses the effectiveness of different attack types depending on enemy distance, with close-range attacks being suited for characters like Hiro and Jean, while long-range attacks are better for magic users. It also elaborates on the effects of spells and special moves, suggesting the use of aerial effect spells to clear out weaker enemies. The page also touches upon the advantages of leveling up, such as learning new spells and increasing attack power. It also mentions the Altena statues in the game world that can restore HP and MP. Finally, it briefly talks about Lucia's role in combat and the character, Gween, who can be used to restore your party's hit points. The next page is all about Slayers Royal 2. It starts with a section called, "Even if you don't know it, it's okay, but let's dig into the parts you're curious about." This section talks about gathering information that might not be essential, but is interesting to know before diving into the game system. The reviewer wonders if Naga will still go wild in Royal 2, like she did in the previous game, because the AI has been taking initiative with character actions. This section mentions that there are two types of AI commands. The character equipment is discussed, highlighting that the equipment not only have names but also show what they look like. It mentions that the story is a continuation of the previous game, so the Sword of Gowry is still the elf sword. The focus shifts to the people in Dolt House, including Greg, the chairman of the Dolt House Magic Association, and Robert, the person who requested the current case. The article also mentions important people in Dolt House, hinting that one of them is deeply involved in the story and questioning whether they are friend or foe. Finally, the page introduces new spells, including Recovery, Blast Bomb, Demon Crystal Ice Array, Dynasty plus Lightning Strike Array, and Dynasty plus Ice River Destroyer. This page focuses on Radiant Silver Gun for the Sega Saturn, highlighting enhancements beyond a simple port of the arcade version. The page states that development is progressing rapidly, with the Saturn version set to surpass the arcade original. It introduces new options like difficulty settings, customizable controls, score recording, and a sound test. The article touches on the addition of demo scenes to enhance the storyline, which was previously understated in the arcade version. These scenes feature character interactions and voice acting. The Saturn version also presents altered stage layouts and new bosses not found in the original arcade release. Characters like Buster, a confident pilot named Gambino Vastislavich, and Liana, a pilot named Marion Renoir, are introduced. The page mentions a pre-order campaign, offering a second soundtrack single by Hitoshi Sakimoto, and a chance to win an arcade board with a control box. The next page focuses on the Sega Saturn title Code R, blending romance-adventure and racing elements. The page details the story mode, where the player, as protagonist Tetsuya Sakamoto, aims to become a pro driver, encountering rivals and developing relationships. The other modes featured are Time Attack mode and Battle mode. The Time Attack mode allows you to compete on downhill and hill climb courses, choosing from 11 vehicles in an attempt to beat your best time. The Battle mode lets you compete against opponents from the story mode, with car tuning options available. The page also highlights tuning settings for gameplay. The page introduces a mysterious beauty, showcasing scenes of her and the protagonist, including a date at a skating rink. The game boasts a complex system, fine-tuned adventure elements, and a story that is sure to pull the player in. This page delves deeper into the gameplay of Code R, highlighting various locations and activities. The story starts with the protagonist in his room, and players can freely explore the city, visiting places like the gas station, car shop, and even a truth museum. The goal is to become a pro driver by gathering information and competing in races. And to improve your car, you'll need to earn money through part-time jobs or winning races. The page also touches on the importance of relationships with female characters, with the protagonist's interactions influencing the story. Tuning your car is essential for victory, with options to upgrade the engine, transmission, suspension, exhaust, brakes, and tires. As the player's skill improves, and as you begin winning races, the player will gain more fans. The next page offers an in-depth look at the system mechanics and story of Deep Fear. It showcases gameplay elements with detailed descriptions of the heads-up display, HUD, including the air gauge, HP gauge, and information display, which shows the player's current location and floor. The page emphasizes the importance of managing oxygen levels within the game. There's also an explanation of how to replenish oxygen using air canisters and environmental systems. The number of remaining bullets are displayed to the player, and some locations of interest such as the medical area, e-pool, and apartment area. The reviewer highlights the need to understand the meaning of the on-screen meters to avoid a quick game over, and there is a listing of release date, developer, price, and other info. The next page delves deeper into the story and characters of Deep Fear. It introduces 3 new characters: Anna Lawrence, a tough diver working for DN Communications; Ken Fujiyama, a salaryman from the Shirahata Foundation; and McCoy Iron Fist Lambert, a SEAL team leader. Several screenshots depict scenes from the game, showing key moments in the story and character interactions in areas such as the CCD and DN areas. The page also showcases the weapons available in the game, describing their strengths and weaknesses. Weapons highlighted include the Robber Glock G17, Steyr TMP, Mossberg M500 ATP shotgun, KPG L9 underwater rifle, M75 grenade, and a 97 air grenade. The reviewer emphasizes the importance of choosing the right weapon for different monster encounters and managing oxygen levels. This page focuses on Walkenroder, a strategy simulation RPG. It introduces the game's 3D polygon battlefields and 3 playable characters. The battlefields use a 3D perspective, where height plays a crucial role in strategy. The page describes 3 different maps, each with unique features like elevators and varying elevations. Players need to navigate these maps strategically, considering the height advantage and enemy placement. Character introductions include Fisekis, described as a street-smart character, and Blanky Zappa, a tough, nonsense type. Also, there is a character named Titus Clone. The release date is listed as August 8th, with a price of 5,800 yen. The game is a strategy RPG for 1 player. The next page introduces Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Special, celebrating its 5th anniversary with a special package. The package includes 3 discs, featuring enhanced versions of Tsuchipai I and II, and a completely new scenario for Tsuchipai Adventure. Disc 1 and 2 contain arranged versions of Tsuchipai I and II, with minor system tweaks and adjusted regulations. Disc 3 offers a new story for Tsuchipai Adventure, using the Doki Doki Nightmare game system, but with a unique storyline and new music. It also mentions features like Miyuri's Room, a sound test, and a special homepage edition. The page highlights the ability to choose characters at the start and use special moves. It also mentions a panel matching game for items and stage clears. The article also notes how all characters from the series are playable for the 5th anniversary. A list of past Tsuchipai games and their release dates is provided, including Idol Janshi Tsuchipai, Super Famicom, Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Special, Arcade and Sega Saturn, Idol Janshi Tsuchipai 2, Arcade and Sega Saturn, and Idol Janshi Tsuchipai Remix, Sega Saturn. The page also features screenshots of the game and includes details about the developers and other information. This page is a preview of Valholian, a simulation RPG where 2D fields meet polygon battles. The story centers on the conflict between the magical kingdom of Lafalu and the militaristic Balt Empire over the continent of Palladina, focusing on Ray Brightforce, a prince of Lafalu. The game features strategic, orthodox battles on a grid, where units move and engage adjacent enemies. A key gameplay mechanic is combination attacks, where two characters cooperate for significant damage, influenced by a combination level that increases with successive attacks. Character attributes like fire and ice play a vital role in combat. The battle scenes are rendered in polygons, bringing the action to life, including special moves and monsters. The page also introduces several characters, including Fiona Fogarty, Rilfie Wood, Dagi Halma, Lyle Formalhaut, Jihad Balzal, Timaka, and Ray Brightforce, giving a glimpse into the inhabitants of the Paladina continent, caught in a web of intrigue between nations and factions. Quote, "The next page features an interview focused on World Soccer RPG, where players become the coach of the national team. Project leader Takeshi Shinmura is interviewed, offering insights into key aspects of the game. The game involves managing the national team, with evaluations based on factors like results, technique, popularity, guidance, and matches. Managing player expectations and dealing with potential dismissals are part of the challenge. It covers contract conditions and evaluation benchmarks. The page emphasizes the importance of choosing a coaching type, whether passionate, logical, or optimistic, each influencing parameter growth differently. The interview highlights the significance of the coaching type selected, which affects various parameters like training effectiveness, scouting potential, and financial investments. The passionate type improves training easily, while the logical type enhances operational skills, and the optimistic type offers a balanced approach. The page also mentions personal techniques to maximize player potential and the advantages of equipping items to enhance abilities. The interview contains sections discussing challenges, like struggling in the first year due to difficult conditions, and emphasizes the need to fulfill special requirements to avoid dismissal. It also explores becoming a coach for countries other than Japan, with varying levels of difficulty depending on the country. The page ends with comments about aiming for global domination by conquering regional tournaments and the International Cup. The page also features screenshots of the game and character portraits. This page continues the guide for World Soccer RPG, focusing on effective resource utilization and player development. It covers how to strategically use limited funds in areas like shopping, scouting, and financial investments. The importance of equipping players with items to boost their abilities is highlighted. There's a breakdown of player parameters like stamina, speed, shooting, passing, dribbling, ball control, saving, and judgment, explaining what each parameter influences. Also, it offers advice on positioning players based on their strengths. The page includes an interview section discussing the consequences of a player being cut from the team and strategies for managing aging players versus younger talents. It also covers the scouting process, emphasizing the need to raise a country's technical level to scout better players. The page suggests investing in technical improvements and being patient while waiting for high-level players to emerge, with tips on identifying promising players. Additionally, the page touches on facility upgrades through investment, detailing the benefits of upgrading the training center, which allows for more focused training, and the stadium, which increases audience capacity. The role of the association in scheduling matches with stronger opponents for better experience gains is also covered. Finally, it notes how upgrading the Winthrow Foundation increases investment limits, and it advises on saving before reports to avoid wasting funds. There is a table of items that affect stats. This page of World Soccer RPG focuses on optimizing team systems and linked plays. It addresses common issues like strong teams losing and details system selection, player positioning, and pre-match tactics. An interview with Mr. Shinmura emphasizes that systems should adapt to player conditions and that player placement should reflect chosen strategies, side attacks, central breakthroughs, player growth, team chemistry, which doesn't improve significantly with time, and stamina are discussed, with a recommendation to replace underperforming players and avoid drastic position changes. Formation of linked plays is advised to be simple and realistic, minimizing participants. The panel concludes that systems must be adaptable and tested in-game, adjusting to team conditions and balancing attack and defense. This page is a preview of Black Matrix, a tactical SLG game where you play in a world with different morals. The page features an interview with the original author and introduces mini-games and events. The game emphasizes character emotional investment as the drama unfolds through in-game sprites, not anime cutscenes. Dialogue scenes feature character-specific graphics, and the game is fully voiced, highlighting each character's personality. Players can expect hard storylines for all characters, including the main hero, who you can select from 5 choices. The game includes mini-events with animated sprites, where you can read books and do chores. The player can also cook food, but be careful, as reactions to your dishes can be shocking. There are also minigames like wood chopping, whack-a-mole, catch the mouse, and fishing. There is an opening cinematic that uses CG to showcase the game's world. The next page features an interview with the creator of Black Matrix, Mr. B2 Go, and reveals the results of a popularity ranking for the game's heroines. The interview discusses the game's setting and characters. Mr. B2 mentions that the game was initially conceived as a standard fantasy, but evolved into a world with reversed morality, focusing on the 7 deadly sins. He hopes players will reconsider their values while playing. The creator also says that each of the 5 main heroines had unique qualities and fans. Mr. B2 hopes players will enjoy the game and is very interested in feedback. The ranking results show Domina in first place with 78 votes, followed by Courage in second with 73 votes, and Praha in third with 58 votes. Prika and Michette are ranked 4th and 5th respectively. The page includes comments about each character and fan art. Mr. B2 expresses surprise at Praha's ranking. The next page covers Pocket Fighter for the Sega Saturn, showcasing the new Running Battle mode, where players fight through 12 com-controlled characters. The game provides a gem recovery system to restore health, and encourages players to develop effective attack patterns. The page introduces Guki, Akuma, and Dan as playable characters. Guki's powerful Tenma Gozanku move is highlighted, while Dan's unique fighting style is also discussed. The conditions for Guki and Dan appearing in the arcade mode are listed. This page presents a strategy guide for the fighting game, Astra Superstars. It emphasizes that relying on button mashing alone won't lead to victory, instead encouraging players to master special attacks for turning the tide in battle. The guide covers various offensive and defensive techniques, including guard breaks, back attacks to create openings, reversals to counterattacks, wall attacks, and follow-up attacks after an opponent is launched. The bottom of the page features a comic strip with Stella Sensei, a character who provides tips and explanations for the game, which are quite sarcastic and fun. The next page of the magazine is titled, Continue Report, Madhu Monogatari. It introduces boss characters and the latest story elements from the game, Madhu Monogatari. The page features descriptions of several characters, including Satan, Skeleton T, Scylla, Succubus, Jean, and Incubus. The storyline involves a mysterious smoke that is turning monsters violent. Arle, accompanied by Carbuncle, sets out to investigate and stop the source of the smoke. During their journey, they visit Rulu's mansion, only to find Rulu herself battling a minotaur and behaving strangely. After defeating the possessed minotaur and eventually calming Rulu, they trace the smoke to Coppice Pass, where they face the source of the problem. It shows how Arl and her friends will be there to help the main character against all odds. The page also introduces Carbuncle's ability to dispel smoke-generating plants with his beam. It ends with an encouraging message about friends banding together for support. The bottom of the page includes game information like the release date, developer, price, genre, age rating, number of crids, players, peripheral equipment, memory data, and development status. This page of the magazine focuses on the game Continue Report, specifically on Madhu Monogatari, and details the 3 main characters and their individual storylines. The page highlights how to become a magician, referring to the game's protagonists. It notes that the gameplay involves finding magical materials and creating spells. The characters are Berry, Natsu, or Natsu, and Lime, and each have different difficulty levels, with Lime being the easiest and Natsu being the most difficult. Berry's storyline centers on her desire to meet her deceased parents, leading her to master magic that allows her to communicate with the dead. Natsu's story revolves around uncovering the secrets of her birth, while Lime aims to rescue a princess. The page showcases sprite patterns and facial expressions for each character, along with screenshots from the game depicting interactions between them and their mentors. It notes their personalities and motivations, and briefly mentions the mentors of each of them, such as Barry's professor, who is an intellectual with glasses. The next page centers on the game Dream Generation, focusing on its simulation aspects and romance elements. The player takes on the role of Toranosuke Rokujo, who has 1 year to juggle part-time jobs, self-improvement, and dating to achieve his dreams of either becoming a film director, gambler, or pro golfer and winning over his chosen girl. The gameplay is structured around a weekly schedule, dividing the week into weekdays, Saturdays, holidays, and Sundays, each offering different activities. On weekdays, players can work part-time jobs, study, or rest to boost their stats. Weekday schedules are set on Sunday nights. Saturdays and holidays involve events and dates with girls, occurring between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. The game features 9 potential romantic interests, and the player can raise their affection through dates. Different locations and conversation choices affect the girl's impression. The page features screenshots of date scenes and the character interactions. This page is a feature on the PC game Virtual Call 3, focusing on how to date the girls in the game. It highlights that if you become close through Virtual Call or Party Line, you can arrange dates. Successful conversations in these modes can lead to exchanging phone numbers and requests for dates. The article showcases various dating scenarios tailored to each girl's personality, along with operators who assist the player. The featured characters include Arisugawa Mitsumi, Sakura Miyako, and Ebihara Ruria. The virtual headgear, VHG, is mentioned as an essential item, allowing the player to experience the senses of the person they are talking to. The game mechanics involve using Virtual Call and Party Line to connect with girls, and further conversations through Two-Shot Line with operator assistance, which can lead to a phone number exchange and the beginning of a dating scenario. The operators mentioned include Preja and Windy. They guide the player and connect calls within the Party Line system. The game features anime-style characters like Fukagawa Madoka and Saionji Kotono. The next page covers Digital Monster vs. Digimon Tamers for the Sega Saturn. This is presented as the main feature for the Saturn version of Digimon and focuses on its network elements. The aim is to collect and raise all Digimon to become the ultimate Digimon tamer by raising them through meals and training. The article describes the album mode for viewing evolved Digimon and their stats. It highlights the Digimon Network, a virtual network within the game where Digimon battles can be held to earn digital money and medals. There's info on networkers who provide info via email and message boards. 2 events are shown, which are a shop to buy items, where you can purchase items for Digimon, and a hacking event, where a hacker appears and forces you into a Digimon battle. Characters like Numamon and Sumamon are shown, alongside images of the game. It also mentions that the game is currently 60% complete as of June 17th. This page features the Conehead Club column, a humorous segment in the magazine. The column starts with a tongue-in-cheek commentary on a Japan versus Argentina football match. It touches on the author's disappointment at the game's outcome and the anticipation for the Dreamcast's launch. There's a reader-submitted story about damaging a Saturn by accidentally pushing the CD drive spindle, with a warning to other readers. The column also mentions Grandia Digital Museum and includes fan stories and short manga strips, plus details about Sega Saturn and software compatibility. It also features art for Another Memories. There is also a promotion for a special clear file gift with purchase of the Sega Saturn game. The next page appears to be a postcard for readers to submit to the magazine. It features sections for game performance records, reader's name, address, pen name, age, and a space for comments or stories to be shared with Saturn Fan. It includes the address for Tim, the magazine's publisher, and notes that submissions can include letters, illustrations, and other content. The postcard reminds readers to mark the relevant corner they're submitting to. This page features a variety of content, starting with an illustration gallery showcasing fan art with comments from readers, including pieces inspired by games like Another Memories, Roommate Ryuko Inoue, and Super Robot Wars F. The Kids Hope section includes reader opinions on the gaming industry, focusing on the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast, with one contributor suggesting that Sega should push the visual memory unit for the Dreamcast. The Corn Kids Network board presents reader opinions and discussions. It covers topics like the Illustration Hall of Fame corner, with some readers debating whether it is fair to have a ranking system or if it should be a space for appreciation instead. The Sega Am Freak section highlights illustrations of Sega characters from games like Last Bronx and House of the Dead. Finally, Transplant Hope Voices expresses a desire for the game Portopia Serial Murder Case to be remade. The next page has several fan-submitted sections. The first, We Are Supporters, is dedicated to fan creations and support for different games and characters. One section focuses on the Imperial Theater Guard and their appreciation for Sakura Wars, while another highlights Langrisser vs. There is Dragon Force Friends Association, which features fan art inspired by the game Dragon Force. Next to this is Grandia Night Squad, which seems to feature fan submissions for the game Grandia. Below this is Lunar Magic Guild, that features art and comments based on the Lunar series. The Corn Kids Q&A answers reader questions, including one about the Copic painting technique and another about being a poor person and using scrap paper. The editors humorously respond, discussing their own financial struggles. There's also a section with instructions on how to submit content to the magazine, including address details and guidelines for artwork, and illustrations of submissions. Finally, there is a fan art contest. This page presents a reader survey and a giveaway of 50 software titles. Readers are invited to fill out a questionnaire to win one of 10 games, with 5 copies available for each title. The survey asks about the readers' preferences, including their favorite game genres, the magazines they read, the gaming platforms they own, and what influences their purchasing decisions. Some of the questions include the reader's school or occupation, age, and gender. It also asks what kind of Saturn games they want to see featured or given strategy tips in future issues. Readers are to mark their answers on a postcard and mail it in. The page also details rules for filling in the postcard, emphasizing legibility for computer reading. The giveaway software includes Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, Slayer's Royal 2, Radiant Silvergun, Code R, Deep Fear, Black Matrix, Pocket Fighter, Astra Superstars, Magical Story, and Dream Generation. Romance? Work? A list of articles in this issue includes titles like Seventh Cross, Deep Fear, and Black Matrix. Also mentioned are articles about becoming a soccer manager in Japan representative team, and Digital Monster vs. Digimon Tamers. The next page dives into the latest software rankings and news. It starts with the Saturn sales ranking from June 1st to June 7th, where Find Love 2 the Prologue tops the chart, followed by Super Robot Wars F Final Chapter and Grandia Digital Museum. Then it shifts to the June 8th to June 14th sales ranking, with World Cup 98 France taking the lead, followed by Super Robot Wars F Final Chapter again. There's also a section on anticipated titles, with Pia Carrot e Yukoso 2 being number 1. The reviewer expresses concern over the Saturn's future, noting a lack of impactful new releases and a reliance on established titles. They speculate on whether the upcoming Suchi Pi limited edition can revitalize the platform. The page moves on to a transplant wish ranking that features Street Fighter 03 at the top. The reviewer wonders if a complete port to the PlayStation is feasible due to hardware limitations, suggesting the Dreamcast as a possible alternative. Finally, there's a call for readers to submit their anime wish ranking, where they can suggest Saturn and Dreamcast games they'd like to see adapted into anime. This page presents game reviews and rankings from readers. The top 5 games are listed as 1. Melty Lancer Reinforce, 2. Baroque, 3. Super Real Mahjong P7, 4. Shadows of the Tusk, 5. Idol Janshi Final Romance, 4. The reviews offer reader feedback, highlighting both positive and negative aspects of each game. Melty Lancer Reinforce is praised for its accessibility and improved features over the C version, while Baroque is lauded for its unique and unsettling atmosphere, but criticized for its map and combat. Super Real Mahjong P7 is complimented for its high-quality animation and various bonus features, but the reviewer notes uneven CPU strength. Shadows of the Tusk is appreciated for quick battles and strategic gameplay, but criticized for repetitiveness. Finally, Idol Janshi Final Romance 4 is commended for its character charm. The page also features developer comments. Melty Lancer Reinforce team highlights the fast loading times of the Saturn version. The Baroque team encourages players to explore the game's depths and offers a playful warning about getting too absorbed in its world. Finally, there's an advertisement for a reader contest, offering Saturn fan telephone cards and software as prizes for submitting game reviews. This page features articles and advertisements for Dreamcast and Sega Saturn games. The page starts with a monthly column about prize items, highlighting goods from Bampresto's Super Robot Wars Hot-Blooded Collection, and items like desktop clocks featuring designs from Cyber Troopers Virtualon and Nadesico merchandise, such as plushies and keychains. There is a contest to win some of the items. The main focus is on NEC Home Electronics Dreamcast titles, promoting 2 upcoming games with a tagline about breaking into new territory, with an image featuring characters and enemies. The headline section teases articles on 7th Cross, Sengoku Turb, and Di-no Shokutaku 2, Diner 2, as well as an article exploring the Dreamcast itself. The next page showcases next Dreamcast game, 7th Cross, a creature evolution simulation RPG set on an unexplored planet. The goal is to survive by fighting and evolving into stronger creatures. The game features real-time polygon graphics, supposedly superior to other home consoles, with the innovative SOM neurotechnology allowing for unique growth patterns for each player. You start as a plankton-like being and evolve by consuming plants, fruits, and other creatures, gaining new abilities and forms. There's no fixed strategy due to the unique evolution process. The next page continues the feature on 7th Cross, a creature evolution game with a focus on survival and unique evolution paths. The page details gameplay mechanics such as exploring the 3D world, battling and consuming other creatures to gain evolution experience, and body composition points, which are used to create dynasheets that determine the creature's evolution. Combat varies depending on the creature's form. More advanced creatures have stronger attacks, with some preferring melee combat and others using magic or projectile attacks. The game also features elemental attacks like lightning. The evolution system is centered around dynasheets, which replace traditional level-up systems. Players draw shapes on the dynasheet, influencing the creature's evolution. The game employs SOM, self-organizing map, neurotechnology, allowing for unique growth patterns based on the player's choices. This system promises a high degree of freedom, enabling players to customize their creatures. The 10x10 grid is where they can design unique drana patterns. The game features a vast number of possible evolutions, with character parts combined in unique ways, with over 810,000 possible evolutions due to the parts system. The page showcases various creature designs, including sea worm and desert bone. The next page explores the potential of power in 7th Cross, promising an immersive and realistic experience. The page highlights various graphical effects made possible by Power 2. These include realistic lighting and shadows, demonstrated by shadows cast by trees and characters. Transparency is also showcased, with the ability to see through water and observe underwater creatures. Environmental mapping is highlighted, where metallic characters reflect their surroundings. The page also touches on shadow processing, showing how shadows interact with objects and creatures in the game. The article questions the evolution of the creatures, suggesting that the story might be hidden within the game's title, 7th Cross. It questions the meaning of this title, and hints at a world perhaps devoid of humans. The screenshots showcase both land and underwater environments, featuring character models and marine life. This page presents an interview focusing on the integration of neural networks in the game 7th Cross. The interview features the game's producer, Fukugawa, alongside Ms. Hatakeyama from Nex Enix and Carrying Research Laboratories. The discussion explores how neural networks enable self-learning mechanisms within the game. The neural network adapts and learns from player input, categorizing information, and adjusting its behavior accordingly. This creates a dynamic system, where the game evolves based on player interactions. The interview touches on the challenges of implementing neural networks, such as balancing learning and avoiding overfitting. Fukugawa states that by using neural networks, they can offer players the freedom to draw designs that influence character development, introducing a new level of interface. The interview also delves into the practical applications of neural networks, from pattern recognition to robotics control. The page concludes with thoughts on the future potential of neural network technology in games, emphasizing the importance of balancing technical capabilities with player experience. The next page showcases the upcoming Dreamcast game, Sengoku Turb, a remake of the 92% 98 title, Sengoku Turb. This quirky action RPG features a surreal world called Turb, where animals talk and ice cream cones litter the landscape. The story follows Gino-chan, a wandering space girl who crash lands on the planet Rayon, where the cat and sheep nations are at war. Gino-chan is mistaken for a savior by the cat nation and becomes their leader. Screenshots depict the game's distinctive art style, with blocky, polygonal characters battling on strange landscapes. The page mentions Gino-chan's signature line, "Is dying scary?" and highlights the bizarre nature of the game's world, where even fairies are considered a delicacy by the cats. The developers state that the game is currently 45% complete. This page delves deeper into the world of Sengoku Turb, introducing some of the key characters and concepts. We meet Jino-chen, the main character, described as a space girl who nonchalantly does terrible things. She's seen as a savior by the cat nation, and her defining characteristic is her seemingly carefree attitude, despite the chaos around her. The page also highlights her early life, including the mysterious disappearance of her parents, and her subsequent life of petty crime, before crash landing on planet Rayon. Other characters showcased include the Cat General, a leader who stubbornly makes Jino-chan the captain of his forces, the nurse Morina who treats the injured cat soldiers, and the Usagi and Kuma creatures who can be convinced to become cat soldiers. Additionally, it mentions that cat soldiers eat fairies to restore their health. The page also touches on the ongoing war between the cat and sheep nations, highlighting the cat nation's repeated defeats. There's also a glimpse of the world's strange architecture and the ever-present footprints of the sheep soldiers. This page of Sengoku Turb explains the flow of the game. The objective is to conquer the 100-plus areas of Rayon Planet, leading the cat army to defeat the sheep army. Victory means conquering the sheep nation's main base. The game consists of 3 modes: formation mode, for organizing the cat army; battle mode, real-time combat; and drama mode, event scenes. In formation mode, you prepare for battle by selecting areas to invade, and equipping your cat soldiers with weapons, armor, badges, and hats. Be careful, as fallen cat soldiers don't come back. Battle mode is real-time 3D combat, where you control Jino-chan while CPU-controlled cat soldiers fight alongside you. You can give them initial orders, but they act on their own. Sheep armies can have up to 16 soldiers, and your army up to 12. Drama mode triggers during specific conditions, offering choices that affect the cat soldiers' morale, battle conditions, and new allies. The dialogue is in Turb speak, with subtitles in the final version. The page also touches on the NPC audition system, where characters from battle mode appear in drama mode. Battle mode and drama mode share the same character models and backgrounds. The page concludes with a highlight of large battles and the freedom to explore the game. You can choose to avoid battles and explore the landscape, collect items, or persuade the rabbit and bear creatures. This page features an interview with Masao Masuya and Hideo Sugahara from NEC Home Electronics about their game Sengoku Turb on the Sega Dreamcast. Masuya discusses his team's background in PC-98 freeware development and their ability to realize their vision on Dreamcast with full polygon characters and enhanced effects. He highlights the large-scale battles and the complex AI of the characters, noting that the personality types and parameters affect the actions of the characters. The game features multiple endings and quests, and your choices in the story influence the story. Sugahara touches upon the game's unique blend of cute characters and serious themes. He mentions that the team aimed for a human touch in their characters, allowing players to enjoy the contrast. He also explains that the main character is designed to be free-spirited. The interview also discusses the title Turb and its lack of specific meaning. Masuya describes the game's themes of freedom and challenging conventional morality, encouraging players to explore the world and form their own interpretations. He hopes that players who enjoyed their previous works will find the new installment to be as enjoyable. Additionally, Sugahara and Sugahara share NEC Home Electronics strategy for the Dreamcast, focusing on leveraging PowerVR technology and developing new brands. They mention the new brand Atypical Alchemist's Associate. The next page showcases an interview with sound director Masao Okawa, discussing his work with Kenji Ino and Warp on titles like Enemy Zero, Real Sound, and D no Shokutaku 2, D2. Okawa emphasizes the commitment to creating high-quality soundtracks, highlighting the detailed direction of Kenji Ino and the use of advanced audio techniques to match the game's visuals. He also talks about D2 and how its expansive scale and 360-degree perspective require a sophisticated surround sound design. He touches on the challenges of creating subtle sounds like falling snow and the importance of conveying atmosphere. Okawa expresses his admiration for Kenji Ino's musical talent and the high level of artistry in the Sketches soundtrack. He describes the album as a fusion of various genres, combining classical elements with modern techniques. The page also includes a preview of the D no Shokutaku 2 Sketches soundtrack CD, and some information about the game D no Shokutaku 2, including its release details and genre. A separate section provides an overview of ADX audio compression technology utilized in Dreamcast games for high-quality audio. This section describes the ADX tech and features comments from Masao Oshimi, Toshihiko Hosaka, and Yasuyuki Suzuki from Cree regarding the advantages of the system. This page discusses the ADX audio technology and how it enhances the audio experience in games, focusing on its use in the Dreamcast. The development team explains that ADX allows for high-quality audio with minimal CPU load. They also highlight the ADX Now Loading Elimination project, which aims to minimize loading times by streaming audio and graphics simultaneously. The benefits of ADX include more realistic soundscapes, richer sound effects, and the ability to have multiple characters speaking at once. They share that the technology allows for dynamic mixing and matching of individual instrument tracks within a song. One can also change the song's mood according to the game's setting. The developers talk about ADX implementation in Burning Rangers and World Cup '98 France. In Burning Rangers, ADX contributes to the game's immersive atmosphere, while in World Cup '98 France, it enables efficient voiceover playback during matches. They also mention Moritaka Chisato wa Tarasebashi Lala Sunshine, which utilizes ADX for seamless music looping. The team mentions the possibility of using ADX for real-time voice chat in games. The page includes images from the game Mobile Suit Gundam, Guren's Ambition on Sega Saturn, and screenshots from Sonic Team title Burning Rangers, including diagrams explaining the old and new methods of audio playback, and some portrait shots of Creek developers Masao Oshimi, Toshihiko Hosaka, and Yasuyuki Suzuki. This page is about the Japan Game of the Year '98 awards, showcasing the nominated titles and the prizes to be won by voters. The page details the criteria for the awards, including the Grand Prix, Freshness Award, Visual Award, and Sound Award. Voting is open from June 16th to July 21st, 1998, and the winners will be announced in the September issue of participating magazines. There is a list of nominated games, including Armored Core, Abezel, Panzer Dragoon RPG, Burning Rangers, Biohazard, and Final Fantasy V2 International. The prizes listed are a Panasonic LCD DVD player, a Casio digital camera and printer set, a Sharp portable MD player, and toy vouchers. There is also a Japan Game of the Year special premium telephone card for those who vote. There is an example of the voting card to be sent in. The page also features logos of various gaming magazines involved in the awards, such as Saturn Fan, Game Walker, and PlayStation Remix. The next page is an advertisement for Masumon Kids, a book published by Tokuma Intermedia MOOC that gives strategies and data for PlayStation games. It highlights key features like explicit action patterns and three-dimensional maps for easy navigation. The ad also showcases several games with their prices, including Breath of Fire 2i, Gallop Racer 2, Crime Crackers 2, First Love Story, School Trip, Team Management Simulation 2, Alnam's Wings, Blaze and Blade, Personal Professor, Fox Junction, Super Meijin Heroic Legend Wataru Another Step, and Marie's Atelier Plus, and Super Robot Wars F and Finished Edition. The page includes a reader survey section, with responses about the Dreamcast, favorite games, and personal gaming experiences, a popularity ranking of the magazine's articles, and a list of prize winners from a previous survey round is also present. This page offers gameplay tips and strategies for the game Baroque. It focuses on mastering the controls, particularly using the L and R buttons for dodging and maneuvering around enemies. The page details how to evade attacks by creating distance and circling opponents. It also provides a chart outlining the mid-game story progression, guiding players through key events such as meeting Iraiza, acquiring the culture liquid, and delivering the crystal to the police angel. Tips are given on how to approach different parts of the game, depending on which ending you're aiming for. The page points out important characters and events found on specific floors of the Neuro Tower, listing the locations of characters like the Angel Worm Little, Iraiza, Those Who Read Minds, and the Box Person, among others. Certain characters can replenish the story, offering insights into the game's world, while utility characters like the Resurrection Angel and Mind Reader offer assistance with item repair and advice. There are screenshots featuring enemies and characters in the game, with annotations providing additional context. The Story Progression Important Characters section highlights the beautiful water event involving Iraiza, and the advice to not ignore the Heavenly Angel on B10F.